Hey, welcome to Mando and Friends. My name is Mando Fresco, and today I am beyond excited to have our special guest here, man. He is a legendary creative, legendary DJ. You've heard him whether in a club or on a stream or at an event.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Vice.
Hey, thank you, Mando.
Brother.
Happy to be here.
Man, you don't know how excited I am to have you here, man.
Appreciate that.
It's been a long time coming for you and I to connect. And, I want to start off with, as people know you as DJ Vice, when was DJ Vice born? Like, do you feel...
Yeah.
Was it when you first initially started DJing, or like how'd that come about?
So like you, I'm born and raised in LA. Out here, I know you're Southgate, right?
Yeah.
I'm Eagle Rock, California.
Hey.
So I was at a family party, like at the age of like 9, at the back of an IHOP in like Glassell Park area or somewhere out here in LA. And I just saw someone DJing, and I was like, I always related to like the moment, a kid might see Kobe play, in his prime, or they see Jordan play, or whoever, like that athlete. Like I saw a DJ play, and I just was like enamored by like what was going on.
Wow.
And that's when Vice was born. Without the Vice name, I was like, that's what I want to do. Like it's just that moment, and at a young age, I'm lucky enough that I knew to like hold on to that moment and go after it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that IHOP was popping, because I was at a family party, and that's when I wanted to be a DJ at a very young age. So
wow,
started early.
And when did you start DJing?
So I started DJing, so at that point you gotta think like there's no YouTube, there's no Google.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was that?
Yeah.
And I've actually done a lot of the mental work to figure out what it was. I realized like that dude was controlling the dance floor and the room and creating like happiness, creating a vibe, creating a moment, and it was family there. I had family there, and I saw everyone having a good time, and I'm like looking around, and I realized I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to give everyone a good time and make everyone have fun. And I like music. I was like, young. So luckily enough, like a year later, I was at a family friend's house, and there it was. I was like, 2 turntables and a mixer. I'm like, that's what that thing was. Yeah. That's DJing. And then he's like, yeah, it's still a family friend to this day, one of my best friends.
Wow.
DJ Splice, my man Phil. But he showed me what it was and like gave me the ropes. And at like 11 years old,
wow,
to like 10, 11, I started like DJing.
Wow.
Yeah. And just to give you the caveat, like the DJ Vice was born out of the Webster dictionary, because I had to find a DJ name, and I was flipping through a dictionary and it just said Vice, bad habit. Let me take that.
Wow.
So I wasn't like gifted the Vice name or anything like that. It was look in a dictionary and find your DJ name.
And you were 12 when
I was 11 when I found my DJ name.
Wow.
12 when I got my original like own DJ setup. Yeah.
And how do you remember how you got a hold of that DJ setup?
Yeah. So my friend that was teaching me how to DJ had the genius idea, because he was maybe 3 years older than me, 4 years older than me. He said, I'll buy you this DJ equipment, which was really, by the way, really bad. Sorry, beep that. Really bad, by the way. And he bought me this DJ equipment, and he's like, you can use it to learn, but you have to go to every gig with me and help me set up. And do the grind, right?
Yeah.
Like carry the crates, set up the lights, the trussings and all this, and wrap up the wires. And if I have to go to the bathroom, like you play a song. And that was the moment I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna get to DJ with you. Like, so I got to like learn all the ropes, but I had to put in, I had to pay my dues as a DJ to pay off that equipment that I got.
Yo, that's crazy, man. Do you have like an early memory of that became like a highlight in your DJ life career?
Yeah, a failure moment. That's like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta have like those failure moments to be like, all right, like I gotta get better at what I want to do as my passion. So that what I mentioned, like my boy was like I'm gonna go dance with this. I think he was gonna go dance with this girl on a dance floor. And we're at like this high school dance, and it was like 300 kids, and I'm like not even like, I'm probably like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll be back, and he gives me the headphones, and I'm like, dude, what I start freaking out, and I'm like, you know, this is still vinyl record, so I'm like shifting through the record. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna find? And I pull out a record, and I'm up there, and I'm trying to DJ, and I'm by myself on stage.
Wow.
You know, and the record ends that was playing, and I'm like, and I freeze. You know, I've never been in this situation, and I just duck. I just drop behind the DJ equipment, and I'm in there like this little kid hiding behind there, right? Yeah. And I just start hearing boo, like where's the like just everyone starts like going at me, but they don't know where the DJ is because I'm hiding, bro. I'm hiding back there. So then the young Vice little hand comes up, and I'm trying to reach up for the vinyl, and I grab the needle and I move it over, and I start the record over again. Like, but that like 30 seconds was like my like worst moment of DJing, because I was like, I failed. Yeah. That was the worst thing. And my friend comes running back up. He's like, what'd you do? Like, what happened? Like that. I'm like couldn't even say anything.
Wow.
So that moment was like, I'm never gonna let that happen again. I'm gonna be the best at my game. And it was that moment that you need, that failure moment that will just drive you to be even better than, you know, you think you can be, you know? So I'm glad I messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I started DJing when I was 14, and like it's something that I was always passionate about music. Mm-hmm. I think I was like 9, 10-ish. There was my parents would and my family would watch soccer, right? So they would watch football, and after there'd be like a little party. And my cousin, shout out to my cousin Fabian, he had a DJ set up, but he wasn't on turntables. He was on CDs. Okay. So he would eventually just like get drunk, and he'd just be like, all right, go ahead and do me. So then I was like pulling out CDs and doing that whole thing. So I guess technically I started, 9, 10, but like I got my first setup when I was 14. And we can go a little bit further a little later, but like I just loved everything about it. Yeah. Man. Like once I started, it was just like this thing I just couldn't let go, man. For someone that is starting to DJ, whether they're 14 mm-hmm. or 24, 34, 44, 54, whatever the case in age is, what advice would you give them?
So for mine, like the story of the way I wanted to DJ was I just wanted to create like a vibe. I wanted to create happiness. I wanted to create like memories for people. I wanted to be that night that everyone was able to escape whatever they were going through in life, like, cause music can do that for you, right? Music can take you to a whole nother place. I know, like for myself, when I'm in some type of mood, a song can change everything for me. Yeah. So for my thing, it's like, know that you're giving, your moment to someone. So for me, it's like work at creating those memorable moments through your craft, through your music. And that could be whatever, right? It could be art or in any different forms. But for mine would be for all these DJs, know that, it's not just about yourself. It's about the crowd that you're playing for. Yeah. And there is DJs, granted, that want to go up and just do their thing and this is who I am, this is what I play. But like for me, I'm all about the crowd, and I'm all about giving everybody like the best time of their life. So I'm able to adapt and swerve and move, like my crossover game's tight. I can move and swerve around this club, like I see like, all right, these people want, they want hip hop. I could tell these people want dance music. There's some, they want some reggaeton over here. These people want to rage, man. They just want like some mosh pit music. You know what I mean? I'm able to like move around, and that is, my gift that I can give to people is I can kind of keep everybody happy. It's a positive people pleaser in a way.
For someone that has never been in a situation like that, obviously it comes with time and experience, but like, what would you say is the trick to read your audience?
So the reason I'm good at that, and I that is one of my strengths, is reading a crowd, is because I've DJ'd every terrible party you could think of. Like I DJ'd anything and everything I could get on at. So like growing up, they'd be like, we want you to DJ at outside this supermarket.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
cool, I'm in, right? I'm like, they're like, we want you to DJ at this wedding, and it's all like majority senior citizens. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm in. Like, so I kept DJing everywhere and anywhere I could DJ, from weddings to quinceañeras to bar mitzvahs to house parties to high school dances to, I mean, the list goes on. But all those parties, whether they were really good or really bad, it trained me to be able to read the crowd and understand how to adapt to every different type of gig.
Yeah, man, I want to talk about, you know, when I started radio, we were technically working for the same radio station.
Same time,
at one point.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
when you were making your transition out of, so we were at Power.
Yes.
At Power 106 here in Los Angeles. And when you were transitioning out of Power, I was just kind of stepping in. And I just remember always hearing your name internally. And you know, when it came to talking about like just a dope DJ or just DJing or just someone just freaking killing it, it was like, oh, Vice. So, I mean, and I don't know if you know this, but when during that era of like the when I was first starting up, like everybody wanted to be Vice. Everybody, dude. Like we were just, you know, we were all just looking at what you were doing from the stands, you know, and you were just killing it, man. And I know that you were the first guy to really just venture off, and you were sort of like that blueprint. You gave us that blueprint to go from radio to that next level and just kind of like, you know, level up. Yeah. And you didn't just do that because, you know, you were a smart dude. Like you did that because you had the skills to back it up, you know? And, but yeah, man, like everyone looked at you like this blueprint. And I'll tell you this, that I thought about as I was driving up to the studio today. There's a way that you are as a person, as a man, the way you carry yourself, just like very humble, man, and just the way that you carried yourself within the radio station. I know that like it also kind of molded like that school, like that class, right? Like class of what, you know, high school is like class of 2010 or 2000.
Yeah, I like that.
Like we were that class. Like you molded a lot of the guys there. Yeah. And eventually like it molded me too. So like, it's like, you know,
it's a
like,
ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect, man. And, you know, whether it was your work ethic or the person that you are, man, just like, I would see it through, like, shout out to Eric Deluxe. I know that you're really close to him and you guys are tight for forever. Like I would look at how Eric would move or how Eric would be, you know, and kind of like it trickled down. And I knew that it was coming from you, like it was, you know, coming down. So just the way that you just carried yourself as a person and as a professional, and then as a creative, man, like you left that legacy there, man. And
appreciate that.
And it inspired and influenced like a lot of us. Yeah. So man,
I appreciate that.
I want to give you your flowers, dude.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I think it's just, you know, it's so like cliche, but just like treat everybody how you want to be treated, you know? Yeah. And I've always had that mentality of like, you know, from the radio station, like, whether it's the janitor who like a Tito end up being on the radio, you know, like you want to just treat anybody and everybody the same, you know, and even in my nightlife industry, when I stepped away from Power 106 and I started working in Las Vegas, like I treated everyone in Vegas the same, and the guys who were the bussers cleaning tables and this and that, who ended up now becoming GMs of nightclubs and like, or booking agents, or, you know, the valet guy who I saw when I first started going into the casinos in Vegas, and I would always take care of him and just talk to him for a second. Like now he was like, you know, the main dude who runs the restaurant. It's a hot spot in Vegas. And now every time he sees me, he's like, hey man, I remember you. And like anytime you need to, you know, like you just never know, right?
Yep,
you never know. And I wasn't doing anything out of like, oh, someone will hook me up later in life. It's just like, I want people to treat me the same way I want to treat them, you know? And I know that karma's real. Karma's real in so many different ways. So as long as I live my life, you know, on a positive note every day, then I can go to bed a happy man.
Yeah, man. No, and you've done a great job at that, right?
Thank you, bro.
So I know that when you were, so people were looking at you as this, you know, like I said, like this blueprint of like, all right, I'm doing radio. You know, now it became to where from radio, the dream was, you know, for that DJ culture to graduate and make it out to like the biggest clubs in Vegas,
right,
and get a residency out there. And that's because, you know, people were seeing what you were doing. Like, have you thought of that?
Yeah, it's wild that like when I stepped away from radio, and the reason I stepped away is because I was like, wow, I actually have opportunities in other places. And it still is scary because, you know, my dream at one point was like, I want to be on radio. I want to DJ on radio. But then I was like, well, I've made it here. Now I'm big on, right when I start feeling comfortable, like I got to move. I got to do something else. So I started feeling very comfortable on radio. I knew how to do my job. I knew how to knock it out. And the next move was to be able to play out of our, you know, backyard, which is Los Angeles, right? Start playing bigger places. So when I got Vegas, I was like, whoa, this is groundbreaking, bro. My first gig in Vegas was in 2003. And I was like, this is the next wave. Like this is the spot where everything's going to shift. Cause Vegas wasn't popping for nightlife like that. You thought of Vegas and you thought of like, oh, we're going to go out there to go see Siegfried and Roy, like a Tiger show or something like that. And we're going to go gamble some money and we're going to eat some, you know, food and like get a cheap hotel, right? Or something like that. But when I went out there in 2003 and I saw like, this is where nightlife's going to be. I just saw it. And I will say like one of my gifts is just to kind of see things early. You know, I'm like, I have to focus on this place. This is what's going to be. And when I started DJing there, I was like, radio can take the step back now, because over here it's going to make me, it's the big leagues. It's going to make me work even harder again. Yeah. So it's kind of like those moments where like, I'm like, I got to push myself one more time. Cause in the nightlife in Vegas at the time, you have people on the dance floor that are from New York, Chicago, Arkansas, London. Like it's just some complete mixed crowd. And now, once again, that young Vice who DJ'd those house parties, those weddings, those quinceañeras, the senior citizen parties, has to figure out the dance floor in a whole different way. Yeah. So it was a challenging moment, and I love those moments. I love those moments so much where I'm like, all right, how am I going to keep everybody in this room happy, keep people spending, keep the owner of the casino happy and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was dope. And granted, that was in 2004. I landed my first Las Vegas residency because of rest in peace DJ AM. He helped me get in there, and I landed at 2004, and to present date, I'm still a resident in Las Vegas. So it's been a long, it's like NBA career run.
You're out here like LeBron, man.
Yeah, it's LeBron numbers right now. It's been a long run, bro. But I'm not sick of it. And the good thing is as DJs, like, we don't age out, you know, like we're still, as I'm like you, I like digging for music. I like finding what's new. I like seeing what's current and on trends. And like, so like, I love being on top of my game with music and bringing that happiness, that dance floor, the passion, the memories to everybody on the dance floor. And as long as I get that, like it's feeding my soul, I'm good.
Yeah. You mentioned AM.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I just heard an AM. I think it's when you took AM to the station.
To Power 106, yeah.
Yeah. And
he was so nervous about that.
Oh, he killed that.
Yeah.
He killed that.
Smashed that set.
Yeah. He was amazing on that. And how was how did that relationship initially start?
So it was, I had judged a DJ battle and met AM very briefly at a DJ battle. And I was a judge for Power 106. DJ Vice is judging and he's in the DJ battle. So I met him. I was like, oh, it's dope. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, I DJ at these clubs in LA. And he named like 4 clubs. And honestly, I was like, I don't know what any of those clubs, right? I've never heard of any of them because it was the Hollywood scene.
Yep.
And I was in the radio scene.
Yep.
And they're 2 different worlds. And one night, the time I'm dating this girl, and she's like, we're going to go to this club in Hollywood. And I was like, oh no, I don't know anyone in this scene, right? She's taking me out of my comfort zone. I'm like, all right, I guess. I'm like, like we're spoiled in radio. Like we know the clubs, we know how to get in. We know we know the security. We know this person. Bro, I walk up to this club and I'm like fish out of water. I'm like, dude, I don't know anyone here. And I'm DJing in LA at some of the bigger spots. And she's like, I'll get us in. And she walks us in and I'm like, what is this place, right? And I'm like in this Hollywood-ass club and looking around and I'm like, what is this music? Like Tribe Called Quest and then Joan Jett and then Journey and then now Jay-Z and then Dr. Dre and I'm like, this is like a wedding set, but like good. I was like, this doesn't make any. And now I'm kicking the girl to the curb because I'm like, I'm gonna find the DJ. Like, who's DJing in this room? So I'm looking, and I see it. And it's AM. Wow. And I'm like, that's the dude who I just DJ'd. I judged the DJ battle. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to the DJ. I walk up there and I'm like, what's up, AM? And he's like, oh, Vice. He's like, yo, and we had just met like recently. And he's like, yo, who you here with? I'm like, some girl. And he's like, jump on. And I like literally ditched her and I jumped on the DJ booth and me and him just started DJing the whole night together. Wow. And I'm like going through his records. And then I probably messed it all up with the girl, right? Like kicked her to the curb. I want to DJ.
Wow.
So we just like broed out on some, and I remember the first record I pulled out of his crate was Vibrant Thing by Q-Tip. And I did doubles. And I was doing like my radio doubles and doing some stuff. The next time we hung out, he's like, yo, that routine you did with Vibrant Thing was dope. I did it. And then he like redid exactly what I did. And I was like, whoa, like that was exactly what I did when we were, and he's like, and so I was inspired by him. I was like, yo, your set's incredible. Like, I don't understand how you get away with half the music you're playing in there. Like he was playing Sweet Home Alabama and Oasis and all these records. And I'm like, I had never heard it done like that.
Yep.
And granted, all the different places I've been out listening to DJs play, I'm like, you're the GOAT, dude. You're like, this is something completely different. I've never seen this done. And it worked. And it inspired me once again to be like, I want to push myself to be an even better DJ.
Yeah.
So that opened up the relationship with AM and I.
What would you say is that thing that made AM like, I mean, I know there's many, but like special that really like made him stand out for you personally?
It was the way he was able to blend records together, but like those records shouldn't go together. Like they shouldn't. Like that doesn't make any sense, bro. Like what are you doing? And then I look at the dance floor, I'm like, it's working. Like how did you do that? Like, so it was the creativity he had and the chances he would take on records that I was like, whoa, I would never know to play this record and it works. Like I remember in Vegas one night, he just cut the music and dropped in like a disco record, like Don't Leave Me This Way, like don't leave me this way, baby, my heart is running. And I'm like, what the? And I'm like, it's working, bro. Like how did like in the middle of it, just dropped a disco record. And like it's just like those random acts of like no F's given, I'm gonna play this, and the commitment to playing a record. Like I'm gonna play this and it's gonna work. And it's like that's inspiring, because as DJs we get nervous to drop. Like we second guess ourselves. I second guess myself so much. Still, dude. I'm in my head. Like curling my toes sometimes when I'm DJing, like, oh, like is this gonna work? I don't know. Like I need to get out of this. Like it's not working. Like so, but like when I would see AM, I didn't see that in him. He didn't have those second guessing moments of like DJing. It was just like, I'm gonna play it and it's gonna work. And it worked. So I was always impressed by that.
Did you ever see AM as competition, or was it always like?
No, like it was like big bro, because he helped me out and get in a lot of those gigs. So it was never competition. Like the reason I got Vegas, because he had a Saturday night residency at this club, Body English, at the Hard Rock Hotel at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll get you Fridays. I'll help you out. I'll introduce you to the owner. You already know the promoter. I'll introduce you to the owner of the casino, like that. And he would like co-sign me to them. And then so it was never like it was like, damn, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you got me in. And then on some big bro, he would like check me about real life stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, you're drinking too much, bro. I heard you were drunk at the club the other night. I heard you were sloppy. Clean it up.
That is big, bro.
And like you're in a dope spot DJing. You're gonna like mess it up. And he would just say and look at me, and I'm like, my bad, bro. Like, or he'd call me and tell me stuff like that.
Wow.
And like in all different parts of my life. So it would get like, it wasn't just DJing, and I'd be like I'd be like, I see what you're saying. I got you. I know. So like, those were like, and it's rare for like men to go at each other like that and check each other.
Yeah.
Like, so I always like respected that and be like, this is like a very like, it's a big bro like mentality that he had to a lot of different people. So it kept me in check in many different ways. Yeah. Many different ways.
When I think about AM, obviously like, you know, one of the GOATs, man.
Yeah.
To ever hop on the turntables. And again, man, as a fan of what you were doing, we were looking at AM and what you were doing, man. It was like this, man, I don't want to say like it was like a LeBron and Steph Curry situation, you know? And it was a beautiful thing to see, man. Just to, you know, because I feel like you also had your own way of playing.
Yeah, we were definitely different in styles.
I remember I did my first air check to be on the radio, my first like mixer air check.
Yeah.
Shout out to DJ E, man. So E, I gave him an air check and he's like, okay, so what am I going to listen to? You know, what should I expect?
Right.
And I was like, well, you know, I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, you know, something like Vice, you know?
Yeah.
Something like Vice. And he's like, oh, okay. But see, at the time, you know, we were an urban hip hop station, right? Like, you know, if I was throwing in some, like what you were doing at the club, it probably wouldn't have made sense, like on regular rotation type of day.
Right.
But that's what I was turning in because of the influence that you had,
yeah,
and the influence that, you know, AM had. And do you have what's the craziest experience for you that comes like first top of mind, where DJing has taken you when you're like, damn, like I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I played at this venue or event.
I think it was like the first time I was playing out of the country, and I was like, wow, like I got to see music as like that universal language, right? Like that everyone's like, oh, like music speaks to everybody, right? And I had, you know, DJ'd at this time. I've already DJ'd in New York. I've DJ'd in, you know, Vegas and LA and all these places. And I got to go to Japan to DJ.
Yeah.
And to see people recite lyrics to songs when they can't even speak English, and they're rapping Wu-Tang, and you're like, what? Like, how did music as a DJ, as that young Vice, bring me to Japan to be in front of a crowd, like playing music as just a DJ, you know? Like this is, when I got to go there, it was like pre like heavy social media. So it was just like, they booked you because you're a good DJ. Like that's what it was. Like you know how to play to the crowd, you know how to play. So that was an awakening moment where I was like, I want to see more of the world and travel and play other countries and DJ and see where this can take me. That's why I'm still so excited to DJ, because there's still so many places I haven't played.
Yeah.
Like there's so many places, right? Like that I want to see. Like I want to be challenged I've never played Brazil. I want to play in Brazil and be like, all right, let me see if I can make this happen. Let me see if I can play.
Yeah.
Let me see, it's like, am I going to be able to hang? Am I like those moments still push me to be like, I still want to work at my craft and be the best I could be at it.
Now, this next section of the program is sponsored by Verizon 5G. It's 5G built right from the network more people rely on. 5G ultra wideband is available in parts of select cities, and 5G nationwide is available in 2,700 plus cities. Speaking of 5G, I want to talk a little bit about tech because it's helped us immensely during quarantine and the pandemic. I know a big majority of the DJ community transition from clubs to streaming online. What role would you say has tech played for you during this time?
I almost lost my mind during that whole like tech phase of the pandemic as a DJ, because like all DJs, we were stopped, right? Like they pulled the plug on all of us. Like there was nowhere to play. So it wasn't like we were in an industry where, oh man, he's killing it or he's still working. It was like, no one's working, right?
Yeah.
Like we got to adapt. And because I had the radio mindset still in me, even though I hadn't played radio, I'm like, I got to get on Instagram and go Monday through Friday, like 5 p.m., like traffic jam days. So I was like, I got to do that. And I had to learn how to get on Instagram, how to wire directly into Instagram and how to get like the converter to go from my mixer to the lightning cable inside that. Yeah. And then I'm figuring out, all right, now I'm getting booted off this Instagram platform. We got to figure out how to use Twitch. I was on Twitch, and then I got to figure out how to like use a program called OBS and figure out how to like stream towards it. But what I realized was like, and how to do lighting. I was like, I'm a one-man show now. Now I'm hooking up lighting. I'm doing cameras. I'm trying to like fix up my Twitch and my emotes, and I'm doing like all this craziness. And I was like, and then my Wi-Fi is cutting out because everyone in the pandemic is working from home and the areas are like cutting in and out. But I was like, I stopped at one point because I was kind of like losing my mind. I was like, this is good because it's challenging me once again. Yeah. It's challenging me once again to learn so much new stuff that I would never have learned before, Like I didn't know I needed the HDMI converter to go to my laptop. I thought I could just plug in the camera straight into my laptop, and then I'm on YouTube. Like, so it was, my mental like therapy in so many different ways. Cause also DJing live on Twitch and these things, it's like a live therapy session, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm seeing friends' names pop up and showing love and spraying. So it was the switch to do all that was so good for my mind during that time. Yeah. And it worked in so many positive ways. And I have so much gear now that I don't know when I'm going to use it all, because during the pandemic, I had this whole live setup and lighting and green screen behind me and everything. But it helped me get through that, like mentally as well. And it sharpened my skills. When I came back out as a DJ, I remember it was a really dope compliment I got from someone. They're like, man, you didn't miss a beat. And I go, what do you mean? They're like, you came out of the pandemic. That was my first gig. I was DJing, and the person who booked me was like, you didn't miss a beat. And I was like, he's like, yo, you sound like you just were DJing yesterday at a club. And I was like,
you're like, I
DJed the whole pandemic. I never stopped. I was DJing like almost every day.
Yeah.
Like more than I probably was DJing pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's like when, some of the NBA players practice on their off season, right?
Yep.
So that was my off season, and I just stayed on it.
Yeah. What do you remember fondly of that moment? Because I know it was a dark moment that, kind of just the DJ community kind of came to save the day. I feel like it was. I mean, I hopped on some of your streams, man, and it's just a lot of love and people just obviously being at home and quarantine and stuff like that. Like it was literally like we were saying, a DJ saved my life, right?
Yeah.
Last night a DJ saved my life, and what do you recall of that?
The best moment though, honestly, was throwing a Cinco de Mayo party in my backyard with just me, my son, he's 20 at the time. He was 22. That's right. I have a 22-year-old. He's 23
name
now.
is
but
DJ.
His name is DJ. I have my son DJ. I have my daughter who's like 5 years old running around, and my wife. And I'm doing a live stream on Cinco de Mayo, which every year prior to this, I'm out in some different city or partying somewhere. And I'm like doing a live stream, and I'm having everyone jump in, from George Lopez to Joe Jonas to Dioro to like, it was just such a wide, to Wilmer Valderrama. Like there was just such a wide range of everybody jumping on and doing a shot with me and like, happy Cinco de Mayo. And I'm like, I'm in my backyard just with my fam right here. Like, this is dope.
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah. So like I look at so many more positives out of I try and always stay positive, but I look at so many more of the positive moments out of that whole quarantine, and like the connection that I was able to bring, like, to see you. I feel like right when I saw you, I was like, oh, what's up, Mando? Like, I feel like we kept in touch during the pandemic, like I saw you pop in the streams. So it was like, it's dope to come out of that and like, be like, all right, I helped once again. If you look at my trajectory and like when I was young, I just wanted to bring everyone together and have a good time, right? So I still was able to do it over the pandemic through live streaming.
Yeah, I feel like that also brought the DJ community together, like tighter
for sure, bro. Like I'm running into DJs that I feel like I've known because I've known them through Twitch, and then I just met them in person for the first time, and I'm like, what's up, like that, and they're like, yo, this is the first time we're meeting in person. We're both like, oh yeah, that's right, we've never actually even met, like the whole pandemic we've been watching each other on screens and stuff like that. So it's dope. It brought everybody together, and it actually helped a lot of DJs to break out of their bedroom, maybe DJing or local DJing, and they're DJing on bigger platforms now in different cities. So it was, man, there's so many positives out of that. Yeah,
we had Angie V on season 1.
I talked to her on the way here.
Shout out to Angie V, man. So Angie V was, one of those, creatives, DJs that really, like yourself, like really made, an event out of like every day that she was on. And she crushed it. Yeah, crushed it. Her numbers were huge. They're still huge. Like, she pushed her game out from just what she had been doing, some Vegas and LA and Pomona, and now she's playing like all over the country, So it was such a blessing in so many different ways for DJs to have this moment to like shift and adapt to the situation, because it helped us, grow and come out of this stronger. Yeah, and I remember just it being so convenient to watch you guys, like, or listen. Like if you're driving, you could just like throw it on and connect it to like your aux or Bluetooth or whatever. Man, if you were at home, you can like, you could like AirPlay it or Google Chromecast it to your TV.
Exactly.
You could watch it on your phone. Like it was just so dope, or on your laptop. I mean, it was just such a dope thing that we got to, all experience during a tough, challenging time.
Very much so. It helped people find new ways to find music as well. Like what we talked about, it helped people be like, the comfort zone of maybe only going to the radio and listening for music. Now they're like going through YouTube, they're going through Twitch, they're on Instagram, like finding who's DJing, and I think also a lot of people like got to relive moments of music again, because a lot of us were playing throwback music. Because we wanted to hear like feel good music, right? We wanted to hear like give us memories of like, oh man, I remember this song was so hype. Like, because new music, like I don't think we were checking for it that hard as DJs during the pandemic. Like I had to go back. I remember I was DJing on the streams for like the first few months, and I was like, I don't have that song. And I was like, yo, it's all on my old hard drive. Like I had cleaned out my music in my DJ computer, because I was like, I'll never play these songs. I'm only at clubs. I'm only events here and there. I had to go back and get my old hard drive and dump in like a ton of music. And now like I have like all my throwback, because that was the vibe. I wanted to play like throwback music and old school memories to give everybody that like, oh damn, this one. Yeah.
No, that's what it was. It was just like feel good music. I remember I started playing myself. I started playing lo-fi music. So I was doing like lo-fi Fridays, and it was just some chill, like end of week, end of like people either wanted to turn the hell up,
Yeah.
right, and they listen to you,
Yeah.
and or they want to just chill out, you know, and they like, and that's what I started to just get into, and right before it's funny, right before the cameras turned on, you and I were talking about how, you know, I've been like doing events and playing, you know, more so after the pandemic, and it just hit me, man, that like during that pandemic, early pandemic time, quarantine, I started pushing that I was DJing. You know, it was like, so I feel like that there was that reminder for people, because for a while it was, you know, I was hosting
Mando the host.
Yeah. And then I started DJing, and because we love it, like, and I think that it was like top of mind for people that follow me, and then, you know, that's how these like opportunities have come about, like as of recent, man. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. Like,
yes,
I know that when you're DJing, it could sometimes, like when you do it for years and years and you're doing these gigs, sometimes, I mean, you know, because we're human, it could seem like a job. Did that change for you after the pandemic? Like, were you a little more like grateful, or a little more like a different insight, and did you notice a difference in the crowds and like the audience?
I think there's a couple of different parts to what you're saying. Is like, one thing for me is like, I also realized coming out of this that I just want to play the places that I want to play as well. Like, I think I've done my pay your dues and grinding and trying to play every like party I could play. Like, I want to play where I'm happy playing, you know? So like, now I'm choosing the right places. I'm not just taking any gig, because also what the pandemic taught me too is that I liked being home, and I like spending time with the fam, and I like doing domesticated stuff around the house, you know. Like, I enjoy like going in the backyard and being like, I'm gonna pick up the leaves around the backyard today, you know, like I'm gonna prep the yard for the gardener today or something like that. Like, there was just this whole different wave of me, like, I'm gonna go to Costco today, I want to enjoy Costco, you know, like just this whole different wave. So like that shifted for me as well. But then coming back out, like, about saying I only want to play the right places and the places I want to play, it's because I want to play the places where the energy's like fire, where it's going to get me pumped and I'm going to be excited. And like, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I played Vegas is on a whole nother level right now, like energy wise. I just played Vegas on Friday night. I'll be there again this week on Thursday. Like, just, it's like a frat party, sorority party on steroids. It's like, you know, everyone's like, we're out, we made it, like, you know, like jumping up and down and just energy. And like, to the point where after my sets, I didn't feel like, I'm like, whoa, like I felt like I just ran a marathon right now. Like, this is like, I'm drenched. Like, this is, I put in some work right now, you know? So I love that. And also like going to like Miami, like whole different vibe. Like, then it reset Nightlife. It reset Nightlife in such a positive way. Like, it literally was a reset button and made everybody appreciate being out again. And I love that. I love that, because my first few gigs out, I was like, whoa, this is energy I haven't felt in years. And it hasn't died out yet. It's still going. It's still going strong. I
had a set at it was like an after party after an LAFC, you know, soccer match. And it was like the first soccer match back. Bro, people were literally doing cartwheels. Like, I was like, yo, what? Like, the energy's crazy. I can only imagine, like, in Vegas.
Or like, like getting, like, you didn't really see this that often, like, but in a club, but like now it's normal when I'm DJing. I see people getting on top of each other's shoulders and like in the middle of Vegas, like jumping up, and like security has to run in there and be like, get down. And then another person pops up and another person pops up, and you just see like, like, so
like some festival, like Coachella stuff.
Exactly. Like, like we want to see, no, people were just wild. There was like a mosh pit of like 15 dudes jumping up and down and moving around the dance floor on Friday night. I was like, what? Like, dude. I could have played like a throwback NSYNC record and they probably still would have been jumping up and down. Like, it didn't matter. Like, they were just going for it, bro. They were going for it. And I love that.
What would you say are like Vice's top 5 like club smash records
Oh, such a good, like, I mean,
are always gonna get like a big reaction?
at the moment, it's so, I think because of that pent up energy, like what I was just talking about, like if I feel like Sheck West Mombamba, like it just came out or something like that. Cause people are reacting like they haven't heard this song in like 20 years or something. They're like, yeah, like I played it on Friday night. I'm like, you're not tired of this record yet? Like it's like mosh pit moving around. Like that was like going crazy and insanity. I think also for myself, like when I'm playing you know what it was so wild. I played like, I just threw an Usher, and it like went off again. And I'm like, I like these moments that it's like, it still can crush it, you know?
Yeah.
It still can crush it. We and you joked real quick about the Kanye album. I don't know if there's there's not a club cut on there really, right?
No Kanye.
I know you're a big Kanye fan, so sorry. I don't know if we're going to hear the new Donda album in there. I don't know if it's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll see if that comes through. But you know what I did play off of that was, remember the Kanye freestyle? I miss the old Kanye.
You played that?
I played that in the club on Friday night.
Wow.
I dropped it and I played it, and it's a mash that builds into like a trap record.
Yeah.
But the whole crowd, like I was able to cut it off and sing along with it. Bah, and because it's relevant, right? Everyone on Friday night, the album wasn't out yet, and everyone's like, yo, so that was definitely a moment. Farruko Pepas is crazy. That record by Farruko.
Oh, Pepas, yeah.
God, like I feel like I'm in a soccer arena. Like
oh yeah, that should be like a World Cup song.
It should be, yes, bro. It should be a World Cup song. That's like, dude, it's so hype.
Yeah,
it is so hype. Yeah. I hope that song keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, so that would be number 4, and then probably the 5th one. You know, I'm gonna give myself some love because I put out music as well.
Hell yeah!
And I always try and drop my own record called Piñata with Justin Quiles, Cap G, and Bia.
Yep.
And I always ask people, has the tequila kicked in yet? And then I drop my
That's dope.
drop my song in or something like that. So yeah, I try and always rep one of my records in there as well.
That's dope. Yeah, let's talk about like the production side of things.
Yeah,
man, because you know DJ Vice as the artist, like how do you see that side of your career growing? Like what's next for you?
So I've always been, you know, wanting to make music, and luckily enough, when I was my early days of radio, like in early 2000s, I bought like my MPC and I tried to learn how to like produce music. And at that time we were invited to a lot of studio sessions. So I got inspired to like try and be a producer because dude, I got to sit in on Timbaland sessions. I got to sit in on Neptune sessions. I was around, I got to see these guys like Wyclef Jean and his producing partner Jerry Wanda. I got to sit in there and listen to them work, and like so many different goats. I got to go to a studio session with Dre at one point. Like so, like that inspiration of just seeing some of the greatest in our generation like work, and then I was like, and I saw also the team effort that it took. Yeah, that it's not just one person doing it.
It's not just Dre, like
it's not just Dre mixing, mastering, right? Yeah. It's like a team, right? Yeah. So I understood that. And sometimes in our industry, we get caught up in the hype of like, I got to do this. I produced it, I mixed it, I mastered it. I was all about getting the right people to work with me. So still I'm on that journey. You know, I work with a handful of different producers, songwriters. I was blessed enough to put out a record with Jason Derulo and Ava Max. I have a John Bellion record out. I have a Becky G record out as well with Mr. Easy on it. So over the years, you know, I've sporadically put out releases, but like a movie, it takes time. You know, it takes time for the planets to align and all the right songwriters and producers to come together and work. But I'm back at it again. You know, I can be truthful and say during the pandemic, I wasn't inspired to work on music because I think all of us were in some type of place, you know, in our head with like, where's everything going to go and what's happening. But once shows started opening up again, and when I played my first shows in March of this year, I was like, I want to work on music again. Yeah, this is hype. Like the shows are back. We see that the light at the end of the tunnel, that we can be out and play these events. So I'm back at it, and I still have a hit list of artists I want to work with. That's so Fingers crossed on all of them.
Who's at the top of that list?
André 3000.
Ooh.
André, like, that's goals for me. That's like, then I can be like, woo, did it. Like, that's like the half court shot. Like, bah, got him. Like, so like, that's just a dream, like to get someone like him on a verse. I've always been an André fan.
No, that would be dope, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And then you come back.
Then I come back.
And you talk to us about that.
André. You're Outkast fan, right?
Yeah, of course.
Man,
of course.
How can we ever get them to do an album together again?
Oh,
Jeez.
man.
Yeah.
Did you go to Coachella to see them out there?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fire, right?
Dude, I saw the stream.
Yeah. No, sorry. No, that's what I did. I saw the stream on it. Yes. My bad. Yeah. I saw the stream on it. Maybe I felt like I was there because I was there. But I was like, yo, I watched it. Yes, dude. But I mean, why can't they do an album, please? I know you probably watches your show, bro. Come on.
Of course, come on.
Big
André
boy.
3000.
Dungeon Family. Get it together.
I've heard that there's André 3000 sightings in Los Angeles. He walks around with a flute. Have you heard that?
Is this real?
Yeah. One of my friends saw him at this like get together, and he walks around with this like flute.
There's like a Key and Peele episode. Did you ever, know who Key and Peele is?
Of course.
Have you watched their episode you have to watch the episode with André 3000 and Big Boy. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a skit they have where André 3000 walks into like the coffee shop and Big Boy's there like sipping his coffee, and I think he has a flute in his hand in there. So maybe this is
he's walking around with a flute, man. So maybe there's something there.
I wouldn't be. I mean, we're in downtown LA right now, bro. I'm gonna walk out of here and randomly see André 3000, or at least a dude that looks like André 3000 with a flute. That's gonna happen right now. Yeah. That's gonna happen. I'm like, Mando, he's here, bro. He's here. And then I just like 5 minutes later, my bad, wrong dude.
Yeah. That'd be dope, man.
Just random guy with a flute.
Imagine having André play the flute on a track.
Woo, let's go.
And rap on, bro. That's never
We're on
been
some
done.
next level. We're on some next level of vibes here right now. We're already thinking about the track with André on the flute. All right, I'm in.
Now, this next section of the program is sponsored by our friends at Verizon. Verizon has partnered up with Oi Health to offer discounts and savings on telehealth services in tu idioma for customers and their families. And as you guys know, health, and not just physical, but mental health, is very important. For this next question, I want to highlight mental health in nuestra comunidad. Vice, what do you do to better your mental health? What are you currently doing to take care of your mental health?
So I found that having a daily practice helps me, and I run every day. Like
nice.
Every day. I do a challenge called Mile a Day Challenge, where I run minimum 1 mile a day, and I'm somewhere in the 1,800 days. I'd have to ask Siri. I know the day I started. So there's a little side note. If you need to, I figure out the day or how many days I'm at I ask Siri. I'm like, hey Siri, how many? Let's find out. You want to find out?
Yeah,
right
let's
now?
do
Let's
it.
find out. Okay, here we go. Let's see this. Let's see. Hey Siri, how many days ago was November 24th, 2017? One moment. Oh, she didn't want to speak, but it says 1,375 days.
Wow.
Hey Siri, why don't you talk to me?
Maybe your phone's on silent?
She's mad at me. We got in a fight on the way here. So that's 1,000. Yeah, 1,000. It's every day. I have not missed a mile, and it's my mental clarity. It's my meditation. It's to get me out of my head. It's not going to change my life in the sense of like I'm going to be the fittest man in the world, but it just is my anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 minutes a day that I'm just out and I run outside. I always try and run outside. It's rare if I have to, I do a treadmill, but like I go outside and I go on a run. So that's my
wow. Congrats.
Thank you, bro.
Man.
Thank you.
How does that? Because I mean, every day is different for you. I'm assuming every single sometimes you got to fly out. Sometimes you're in different cities. Like how do you Dude, keep that consistency?
If you were to look in my Nike app and see the Nike Run Club app and the places I've run, it's insane. Like I've done runs on like a beach after I remember I DJ'd a beach party in Cabo and it finished, and I was like, damn, I got to run because we have to go to the airport. And I just ran up and down the beach. I knocked out my mile. Another time I finished a gig at the Preakness horse track, which is like a big horse track race. And the gig finished and it was an after party and the horse track was empty and no one was there. So I ran the horse track. I did the whole horse track. And then one time I was late, the flight was late, the gig was about to start. I only had time to drop my bags at the room, but I ran up and down the hallway of the hotel, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
And so you hit the mile?
I knocked out my mile in a hallway, going back and forth, back and forth. So if there's a will, there's a way, right? Like you'll find it. Like I've done it through airports. I've ran through an airport terminal, just like, so have you ever seen, it looked like I was running for a flight, right? It looked like I was missing a flight, but it was just me running with no luggage. And I was like running back and forth through the terminal. So I've never missed it. I've always, no matter how rough a day was, but at least I look at it like this. At least I can go to bed every night. As terrible as my day may have been, I'm like, at least I ran a mile and took care of myself.
Now, is it usually like morning time or evening time?
I haven't ran today yet. So I still got to run today at some point. Yeah. It could be like, at some points I've done it like at 11:50 p.m. where I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm like, better knock it out. And I'll get up and run. And some moments it's first thing in the morning.
That's crazy.
Like it just never know. And some moments I've done it where I'm at a taco truck and I order and I'll be like, I'm gonna go bust out my mile and just run around and come back in a mile. And then I sit down, I'm like, I deserve this.
Yo, that's very admirable. Man.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
thank you.
You gotta take our DP Fred, man. He be
Let's go, mile a day, baby. At mile a day challenge.
He throws on you have like a vest, right? Like a weighted vest.
Wow.
It's a 20-pound flight jacket that he runs
Ooh,
with.
I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that. I gotta try that.
No, 3 miles is the farthest with that.
Oh, I need that. A weight vest.
3 miles with dude. I no. That's
My daughter is clocking in around like at 38 pounds. I might just hold her the whole time and run. I'll put her over my head and just run.
So like, I love playing sports, but like running, I could never get into. Man, I'm sure you've heard people say that. Like,
yes.
Like how do you how can I enjoy running more?
Yeah, running sucks, but it's the reward at the end of it. It's the reward at the end of it that you finish and you're like, it feels so good to like just get out of your head. It's those first few steps. It's like, honestly, like I didn't, so this is the other thing. I didn't play sports growing up. As I told you, I started DJing at such a young age. Sports were not anything I was into. Very random. I played I liked ice hockey when I was like 8, 9, 10, right when I was getting into DJing, and I dumped that. So that's the only thing I know how to, sports-wise, the only thing I know how to do is get on ice and skate and still shave ice, which is really weird because a Mexican from LA, that doesn't sound normal, bro. But I used to be into that, so I didn't play any sports. So growing up, I was, my weight fluctuated. I hit 210 pounds at one point.
Wow.
And we spoke on AM. The only reason I had a shift in my mind to work to better myself and to take care of myself is because me and AM weighed each other. Like he weighed himself first, and he's like, I'm gonna weigh less than you. Watch. And I was like, there's no way you weigh less than me, bro. He was big.
I remember.
He was a big boy, but he had just done his surgery for his gastric bypass, and he started losing weight. And he weighed himself, and he was 203, and I weighed myself and I was 209, and I look, and he was jumping up and down like I don't want to. He was just cursing his just like laughing. I was like, damn, bro, because I was like, I gotta start taking care of myself little by little here and there. So yeah, man, that was my shift and trying to just take care of myself and better myself at every day that I can.
No, that's awesome, man. I briefly want to, before I let you go here today, I want to talk to you about your Mexican heritage.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I know, you in the streams you talk about it, like how being of Mexican background and what role did growing up in a Mexican culture and environment, home, what role did that play in your life?
Huge.
And your career too.
Huge. But mine is, so every family's different, of course, right? But mine is different in the sense of like, I grew up Mexican. My parents, my dad's side is from Zacatecas, my mom's side is from Guadalajara. But there was no Spanish in our house. No one spoke Spanish. And I'm the youngest of 4 children. And we're so LA, my grandma's house was in Chinatown right here. Like, we still own it. It's in Chinatown. Like, my mom grew up my dad grew up in East LA. My mom grew up in LA right here. My dad moved from Mexico to East LA. That's like a very Mexican story, right? We left Mexico and moved to East LA.
Very Chicano love story.
Chicano, but my family raised me on, you're going to be American, you're going to speak English, you're going to sound proper. When you're around other business people, you're going to be able to talk with everybody. You're going to be able to, the American dream, right? You're going to be able to hang, you're going to be able to be this. Because, I understand they didn't grow up understanding what the world was going to be. They didn't know it was going to be like as diversified as it is now.
Right.
So I grew up in a Mexican household where my mom was making Uncle Ben's rice. And my mom's gonna be so mad when she watches this. Like, you always gotta say that about me, huh? I would be like, Mom, this isn't what kind of rice is this? She's like, wild rice, Uncle Ben's. I'm like, why do we have corn dogs in our fridge? And we don't have, we had no it was very Americanized and that's why I even do a little skit on my social media sometimes called Life of No Hablo.
Yeah.
Off the Life of Pablo, mine's the Life of No Hablo, bro. Because my parents just didn't speak Spanish to me growing up. But I was raised around Latino culture because I'm from LA. I went to public school in Eagle Rock. I had a diversified group of friends. So it's interesting because even when I'm DJing and I'm playing reggaeton and this and that, one time someone said to me you don't even speak Spanish. And I looked at them I didn't even have to say anything because they could see how much I was enjoying the music and in the moment and feeling the vibes, because just like we spoke about, music speaks to everybody, bro. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Even though I can't understand every lyric Osuna's saying, I'm still saying a lot of the words, bro. I know a lot of, it's in my blood, right?
Yep.
So it plays a big role, and it's who I am, It doesn't, just because I can't speak Spanish doesn't mean I'm not Mexican. I'm 100% Mexican. I know my roots. I know where my family's from. I've done my research. I talk to my parents even more now about it and ask what my dad's life was growing up in Fresnillo, Zacatecas, and understanding how he was as a kid and what he had to go through and why I don't speak Spanish. And I respect it. I understand it. He had a hard time. He had a very hard time coming here and at 13 years old and trying to make things happen for 4 kids and being kicked out of 6 public schools in LA because he couldn't speak English and fights and this and that. So I was like, all right, I get it. I knew why you didn't want me to speak Spanish. I get it. Yeah. Doesn't mean I can't learn. I have Duolingo on my app right here. I got the Duolingo app right here. I'm working on it, bro.
Yeah. I love how you use your phone in so many different ways.
Yes.
Prior to even us shooting, you were like, "Yo, I got my Yelp, and I got my IG, and I got you're a foodie, you're a fellow foodie,
bro.
You got you have different restaurants saved on your different.
I know
apps.
where I'm gonna go after this. I want to hit up this burrito spot because I was like, next time I go to LA, downtown LA, I'll hit up this spot, and I already have.
What's it called?
Wake and Late. So it's this breakfast burrito spot, but they serve them a little later because it's we wake up late.
Yeah, it's up the street.
It's right around here. Yeah. So my game is tight on that. I organize folders in Yelp. I have different categories for different cities. I have a hit list of restaurants and a taco truck that I want to hit. It doesn't matter, any type of things in there. I have that organized. And then my Instagram, my collections folders is probably 15 deep of inspiration pictures, vacation ideas, design ideas, even DJ. If some DJ posts something and there was a song playing in the background, I was like, oh, I want to figure what that is later. I save it and I put into Track ID, a little collection called Track ID, and I go back and find songs that DJs were playing. So I'm I'm heavy on my technology on that side of things.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'm at a restaurant or something and I'm just what song is this? And I try to sneak in I
Shazam last night.
Hey Siri, what song is this? And I'm trying to find a speaker, dude.
I didn't know Siri will do that for you.
Yeah.
I don't have to hit Shazam?
No.
Oh, I'm always opening. See, I'm learning from you,
and she'll
bro.
save it for you too. They're she'll keep records of it.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'm always opening Shazam and doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Damn, see, she's mad at me right now. You saw that, right? I tried to talk to her. She just put the number. She didn't want to talk to me. She just wrote it like a text back. Damn, Siri.
Here's
be tripping.
the amount of days it's been. Vice. All right, Vice. So we have this thing here on Mando and Friends called Rapid Fire, where we ask you questions. First thing that comes to mind, just go ahead and say it out loud here.
Right.
So, favorite song to play personally, not just because of the crowd. Like favorite song that when you play it, you're like, oh, it feels so good.
Run DMC Peter Piper. Run DMC Peter Piper.
Favorite Spanish word.
Cálmate.
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 Who do you use that word with? No, it's not part of the rapid fire. Corridos or mariachi?
Oh, mariachi.
Biggest celebrity crush growing up?
Brooke Burke.
Brooke Burke.
I like Brooke. That was a little bit later in life, but I like Brooke Burke. She was the host of Wild on E.
Yeah. No, I remember Brooke Burke. She's still in those Skechers commercials, man.
Yeah. She probably watches this show. That's what
Yeah. Shout out Brooke Burke.
Yeah.
Favorite app?
Favorite app? Ooh. I'm going to go with, I don't want to say Instagram, man, but it's Instagram still. It sounds like so dated, but it's still so relevant.
Yeah. No,
Man.
it's a big one for sure.
Oh, wait. Can I throw in a side one?
Yeah.
I am sober because I'm 4 months no alcohol right now, and I use that app every day. It asks you like, did you drink today? And I put no.
Amazing.
And I had a non-alcoholic michelada yesterday. That was bomb, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. That's congrats, man. Congrats on that as well, man. You're out here winning.
Yeah.
Favorite piece of tech that you use daily?
Ooh, that I use daily? I would say Sonos.
Sonos.
Dude, Sonos is nonstop for me. It's
Dope.
It's all over my house. I have this little portable Roam speaker that I take when I travel to my DJ gigs. So I throw it in the hotel room and I like open my Sonos app and I'm just always on Sonos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have like the Sonos, which one do you have like different?
Dude, I have the Sonos Roam, I have the Sonos Move, I have the Sonos bedroom bar I have like a bar in my TV. I have the Sonos in my wall. Like we did these speakers in my wall where you can't even see them. They're in the wall. We figured out a way to like hide them. It's like, there's sick. Sonos in every room. In my bathroom, there's Sonos in my bathroom. The little speaker, the smallest one they just came out with, the Roam, it can be in your shower.
Yep.
So I bring it at that. Yeah. So
it's
as
waterproof?
You see, water resistant.
Water resistant.
But as you see, music is my life, just like yours. Like I love, like it feeds my soul. It energizes me, so it moves with me everywhere.
When you're not, I mean, obviously, like, playing music at a club or at an event, like, it's one thing. What are you listening to at home?
So I do listen to a lot of podcasts. So everything from, man, I never thought I was going to be like my dad, but I listen to a lot of news, man. I listen to a lot of NPR and I just like try to stay current, and I listen to the LA report to understand what's happening in our backyard, you know?
Yeah.
I try to stay current on that.
Nice. You got to add Mando and Friends to
all day
to your podcast list. Favorite Latino food dish?
Why you gotta test me like this? Al pastor tacos all day.
Ooh.
Al pastor.
It gotta be off that like.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
No,
he's gotta hit the pineapple and it's gotta fly and land in there and then yeah. Al pastor tacos all day.
Yeah, because the pastor tacos are okay if they're like on the what was it like on the grill or whatever, or on a flat, what is that called, Fred? Like a flat top. It's okay.
No, it's got to be off the.
If it's off the trompo,
so the trompo is moved. That's
different.
I got my favorite spot in LA. Angel's Tijuana Tacos.
Ooh,
they're all over LA, but that's my spot.
Shout out to Angels. Add that to the list, Fred.
Shout out to Angels. Angels fire.
What was your nickname growing up that no one really knows about?
So it was so everyone called me Vice because I was a DJ very early at an age, so everyone called me Vice. But when I started on radio at Power 106, Mr. Chalk, Shout out to Mr. Chalk. He came up with tight
Chalk.
pants. Tight pants.
Tight pants.
Yeah, tight pants. Because I started in radio in 97, 98, and I would show up wearing tight ass pants. Because, and this is pre-fashion. Like, it wasn't in fashion. It was baggy pants. The thing was, I didn't have money to buy clothes. I would spend all my money on vinyl records.
Yeah.
So my fashion game was just off, right? Like, I didn't care. Like, I just wanted to buy records. That's all I wanted to buy. Like, just spend all my money on records. And I liked shoes, you know, but like, didn't have many of them. But when I would show up to the station, Chalk would be like, why you always got tight pants on? You know, tight pants? What's up, tight pants? And then people started calling me tight pants around the station. And then they were like, you look like Prince with these tight ass pants on. I was like, damn, dude, I gotta like, I didn't realize, because I was like, I gotta have some swag to if I'm DJing.
Yeah.
Like, so like, yeah, tight pants. But now tight pants are cool. So yeah, Chalk, what?
Yeah. Trendsetter.
I was early, bro. I was early on this tight pant
Early
game.
influencer vibes.
They
You
didn't
know?
even know if social media was around. I would have been good.
Last one is best song to play at a Latino party.
Ooh, best song to play. El Rey, Vicente Fernandez.
Ooh.
Gets all emotional.
That's like that's the end of the night.
People start drinking more. You know what I mean? Like, just you just feel the emotion. You just feel the emotion in the room, and it just brings everybody together in such a way. So
yeah.
I'll drop that. If not, that's Suavemente if you want to see people dance or something like that. But like,
no,
and currently Pepas.
And
So
Pepas.
we're well-rounded. Yeah.
there it is, man.
Depends on the mood.
Tight pants. I appreciate you coming
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary DJ Vice.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Brother.
Mando Fresco and the Hub Wave team.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro.
Brother, thank you so much, man. You are welcome here anytime.
I got when the André 3000 record gets done.
You got to make it back. You got to
Now,
make
when
it
I get
back,
my next
man.
record out, which it's in the works right now, then I'll come back and visit and we'll talk about it.
For sure, brother.
My
Thank
man.
you so
Thank
much, man.
you.
DJ Vice, and thank you so much for watching Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.